Hello Libra, welcome to Essence Reflections Tarot. My name is Krista. This is your reading for the week of July 1st to 7th, 2019. And it is for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can find out when your next reading comes out. It's next week. And if you would like your own personalized reading, you can go ahead and check out the link to my website. It's in the description box below. And let's just get started here. So in the physical, we have the Six of Wands in reverse. And in the emotional, we have the Knight of Pentacles. In the mental is the Eight of Wands in reverse. And in the spiritual is the Nine of Cups in reverse. So Libra, in these cards, it's not showing any major shifts happening for you, these cards are really talking about how to work through the details and how to move through what's going on for you this week in terms of just the minor things. It looks like emotionally you have a lot of stability, almost bordering on stagnation. It's like you are putting into practice some of the things that you have learned, but it has you a little bit upside down. It's like your freedom of movement is very much compromised almost, and it has you feeling a bit wooden and stiff, but your thinking is more in a space of things really taking off for you and taking flight and a lot of movement. So there's a real dichotomy here between your feeling and your physical and your thinking, which has you kind of all over the place. So this is a very interesting spot that you're in right now, Libra. It does look like spiritually you are coming out of a space of isolation, almost a space of stasis, but it's starting more in your mental, spiritual. It's starting to kind of loosen up and move before it moves down into the physical, which is often the way things happen. It looks like you've had a huge emotional release within the past little while, and that's kind of gotten you onto more stable ground. But it's almost like it's time for you to start moving now. So the question is really for you to look into and ask yourself, what is it that has me almost feeling stuck? What is it that has me kind of sort of digging in my heels and stopping the free flowing and the movement that's starting to happen? Is it fear? Is it uncertainty? Is it being overwhelmed by what's happening here? Exactly what is going on here? It's maybe a time for you to sit down and write down all these things that are happening for you mentally, so that you can kind of get a grasp of what they are, so it's not all just helter-skelter and unclear for you. It looks like things can be moving in a very positive direction for you, and that can be exciting, but it's a matter of changing perhaps your perspective from being anxiety inducing to exciting. Is this anxiety or is this excitement that I'm feeling? Maybe those are some of the questions that you're needing to be asking yourself in order to kind of get some clarity and to find out how to move through this, and really allowing yourself to move physically is one way that might help you to really move through this. And this is an area here emotionally where you have knowledge, you have a lot of learning, and you're applying that learning, and perhaps it's a matter of needing to remind yourself that you've got this, you have what you need in order to move forward, and you know what you need to know already. It's not like it's a mystery to you, because you do have some grounding and some stability in this area, but it doesn't mean you need to just be completely still and completely stagnant with it. But it's interesting because there's no swords in this reading whatsoever. There's no, you have your pentacles, your wands, and your cups. So your earth, your fire, and your water. But there's no air. It's almost like there's no room to breathe in here. And it's almost like you are also needing kind of the clarity that comes with being able to communicate and being able to think clearly. And so let's see if we can, if another card will come out and maybe give us a little bit more insight into, here we are, what's happening here. Okay, so, okay, that makes sense. This is the King of Swords in reverse has come up, and when I see the King of Swords in reverse, to me that is the perfectionist subpersonality, and that completely explains this reading. This feeling of not being able to move and not knowing how to move, and yet having so much kind of going on in your thinking that it's hard to know what to do. But it's that perfectionist telling you that if you can't do it perfectly, you shouldn't do it at all, and giving you all kinds of different messages that are even at cross purposes with each other. So really, this week, be on the lookout for where that perfectionist subpersonality is at work for you, and where it is kind of telling you you can't do this because of that, but you have to do this because of that, and all of those really binding and stagnating messages that the perfectionist tends to have for us. And remember, this can also be a reminder that we are not meant to be perfect. We are not asked to be perfect. We're asked to do our best with the knowledge that we have available to us, and I think that's really what the Knight of Pentacles here is. You need to make your decisions based on what you know at this moment in time, and maybe you'll learn something different later on that would, had you known it now, cause you to make different decisions. But we can forgive ourselves for making the decisions that we did in the past with the knowledge that we had at the time. We can't expect ourselves to make decisions with information that we don't have yet. So all we can do is our best with what we have at this moment in time. And this is a week for you to really be gentle with yourself, and a week for you to perhaps, write down those critical thinking and those critical thoughts that are coming up for you, and write down where it is that you feel you need to be perfect, and really explore that for yourself and see what's at the root of it and where that's coming from for you, and see if you can find this freedom that's available when you have the mastery and the clear thinking, but that comes without the perfectionist bite to it. So I wish you all the best this week. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I really, really appreciate you being here, Libra. All the best. Bye-bye.